Up here at Sirius Satellite Radio, we have a ton of channels, including 65 music channels that are completely commercial-free. That means you'll never be interrupted. So you don't have to be bothered by boring, long-winded commercials with some knob going on and on about nothing, when all you want to do is go back to the programming you were enjoying in the first place.
Are you looking for a gift?
Yeah, what should I get my girl? A new iPod or a love song I've written?
Well, that has 16 gigs, stores 3,500 songs. But a song just for her. Can I hear some?
Oh, baby, your love is my human right. My bark is just as loud as my bite. It'll be anything but a silent night.
So we'll go with the iPod then.
Ice cream boyfriend. Why do you say that?
How do you employ a reindeer?
Hey.
How cool is this? A video phone, and it's gorgeous.
Why are you whispering?
Oh, I found it in my parents' closet while I was searching for my gifts, and they would freak if they knew I found it. They love a surprise. They're behind me right now, aren't they? Thank you. Did you get me a plan?
Introducing video calling on the new LG Shine. Only from Rogers. This season, share the joy.
Skiers and snowboarders, if you want to save money on the slopes of Banff, Sunshine Village, or Jasper's Marmot Basin this winter, make sure you pick up this year's Sunshine Marmot ski card. It's Alberta's best ski value. Get yours for only $79.95, and you'll receive 3 free days of skiing or riding for the 1st, 4th, and 7th visits. Save up to $26 every time you ski. New this year, Sunshine Marmot ski cards include free direct-to-lift upgrade. Get your Sunshine Marmot ski card today at all Alberta Safeway stores, ski and snowboard shops, or online at skibanff.com.
The best in the CFL East go head-to-head under the dome at Rogers Centre. At stake, a berth in the 95th Grey Cup. The Argos took the East by winning 7 games in a row. The Bombers dominated early in the regular season, but have only 1 win in their last 8 games in Toronto. It's the Eastern Final, the CFL on CBC and HD. The Bombers and Argos have met 4 times in the Eastern Final, and each time the winner has gone on to take the Grey Cup. Will history repeat itself? Hi everyone, I'm Steve Armitage with Harry Jones, and welcome to our coverage of the Eastern Final. In the first part of the regular season, Harry, Glenn was the best quarterback in the CFL. The big question going into the Eastern Final is, can Kevin Glenn repeat that form?
Yeah, and I think he can. A lot has been made about Kevin Glenn's first half of the season versus his second half of the season. In the first half, the first 11 games, 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. In the last 7 games, 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. But you have to look beyond the numbers. Kevin went away from the short timing routes that had made him successful in the past, and also you have to look at the receivers. They missed 17 balls in the last 3 games. Now, that's going to hurt any offense. But I like what I saw against Montreal last week. They went back to those short timing routes that made them successful earlier in the season, and that has to bode well now for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Michael Bishop was brilliant in relief of Damon Allen in last year's playoffs, and he gets his first ever start at the quarterback position in a playoff game for the Argos today.
Yeah, and what we've really seen is the growth of Michael Bishop. I mean, he came in 2002 as a raw physical talent, but he's learned the game. He has led this team to first place in the East now. He's had his struggles at times, especially his last game versus Winnipeg, but I like what I saw against Saskatchewan last week. It's the best I've ever seen a quarterback play under those positions. They're going to need that Michael Bishop for them to be successful today.
Okay, right now let's get the game notes from Harry Jones for this Eastern Final, Harry.
Sounds good. We've got a movie theme. On offense, the longest yard. Charles Roberts wants about 100 of those longest yards. It will be either rushing or catching the ball, but they have to get Charles Roberts involved. And on defense, Raging Bull. I'm talking about Barron Simpson, the man in the middle. He came up big against Montreal last week in crucial short yardage situations. They'll need that rage again. For Toronto on offense, all the right moves. Michael Bishop has had all the right moves for this team so far, 11-1 as a starter, but this will be his biggest test. Will he pass it? And on defense, 10. Kevin Ivan said that the Bombers would be lucky to score 10 points. Now it's up to Kevin Ivan and the linebackers to make that statement a perfect 10 for the Argos.
Well, the weather won't be a factor today under the dome, but the Argos are hoping the noise will work in their favor. Doug Berry says his team that slipped in the second half of the season and lost the season series against the Argos is not concerned with the Toronto defense. His own D is not too far behind the Argos. This could be Michael Clemens' last game as coach with Toronto. Considerable speculation that pinball is going on to bigger and better things outside of the game that he has represented so well and given so much to. The Eastern Final, the Bombers against the Argos. Winnipeg won the toss, and they will take the ball. It's Reed and Stokes back to take this opening kickoff from Noel Prefontaine. The Eastern Final is underway. Stokes at his 15, 20. Good return. Brought down by John Williams, but Kevin Glenn, who comes in looking to regain that early season form, will have possession.
Yeah, Kevin Glenn, like we said, he wasn't the most outstanding player for nothing. You have Kevin Glenn in that backfield, and it's going to be up to Kevin and Charles Roberts to really set the tone for this offense today. Wide receivers look for Derek Armstrong. He has a great matchup against Younger. He's got 100 yards in all 3 games they played against him. And Koch is the new man in there with Andrew Green out. They're going to challenge him early.
A bad snap recovered by Roberts, and Roberts got to make Edwards pulls it down. I don't think that was in the playbook.
No. I like the composure that they showed on that first play. So we go to the Toronto defense, the strength of this team, led by Brown up front with 13 sacks. You look at Ivan saying that they wouldn't score 10 points. Look for Pyle to come off the edge today. Very good rusher from the linebacker position. And the defensive backfield, all solid back there. That's why they've allowed the least amount of touchdowns of anyone in the CFL.
2nd and 10, Winnipeg from their own 32. Opening drive of this first quarter. Good pressure, almost picked off by that very strong Argonaut defense.
Yeah, we just talked about it. Willie Pyle coming off the edge on 2nd down. Look to see that a lot this game. They think they have a great matchup with Pyle and his quickness against the tackles of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
So the Bombers 2 and out. Troy Westwood, such a force for the Bombers in that semifinal win last weekend over Montreal, will handle the punting duties. Dominic Dorsey back to receive for the Argos. Dorsey, the Eastern nominee for Special Teams Player of the Year. And he takes it. He's at 45, 50. Looking for running room on the outside. Crosses the midfield stripe. So Michael Bishop will have good field position when we come back. The Argos get the ball for the first time this afternoon.
The CFL on CBC is brought to you by the 2008 GMC Sierra, professional grade. By Rogers. Text Lenny to 4744 on your Rogers wireless phone and download Lenny Kravitz ringtone.
Hey, it's me, Dad. Ever notice one day you're just hearing about something and then everybody's talking about it? When we switched to Rogers Home Phone, it was easy. There was no charge and big time savings. These days, it seems everyone's switching. The folks on the street, the guys at work. I guess everybody loves a sweet deal, huh? It's my fishing buddy. Hey, Rod. It's his real name. You just heard about Rogers Home Phone.
Say hello to Dad.
See?
And say hello to saving $120 over 12 months when you switch to Rogers Home Phone.
There are fans.
Woohoo!
Then there's CFL fans. Lays and CFL on CBC are bringing together Canada's most passionate, most dedicated, and most devoted fans at the Lays Fan Zone for the Grey Cup Festival in Toronto. Come on down, show your team pride, and celebrate all weekend with passionate fans from across Canada. Then tune into CBC Television for the big game and highlights from the Lays Fan Zone. Brought to you by Lays, the official potato chip of the CFL and its fans.
East Championship final game is going to be one of the greatest experiences in my sports life that has ranged now over 30 years.
And pinball certainly knows what it means to win an Eastern final, go on to win a Grey Cup. The Argos did that in 2004 with pinball as the coach. 1st and 10, Toronto. Bishop rolling right. Talbot picks up 6 or 7 yards. Bolden is there to drive him out of bounds, and that could be a late hit.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a late hit. Jerron Bolden looks like he's just trying to send a message to show that he's a physical player and paid for it on that particular play. Can't hit a guy out of bounds. As we go to the Argos offense, you see Bishop with Avery and Edwards. They probably won't both be back there.
Unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg 21. It's 15-yard penalty. First down.
We see the receivers with Arlen Bruce. He's the main man for that group with Talbot. And again, Jerome Davis playing in his first game in 3 months at left tackle, usually a right tackle. So we're going to watch him against Canada and Walls.
Unnecessary roughness, a call against Jerron Bolden, who was a late pickup by the Blue Bombers after a stint in the NFL. They were glad to have him back last week, had a very important interception for the Blue Bombers, but that was an untimely penalty. Edwards, his first carry, picks up 3 or 4 yards over left tackle.
We take a look at the Winnipeg defense on the line. We see Canada and Walls on the outside, looking to give some pressure to Michael Bishop. And Barron Simpson, the main man in the middle, but look for Ike Charlton too. A smart player came up with a big play against Montreal. And the defensive backs, Jerron Bolden, who we just saw in that first play, he moved over to the wide side corner instead of the weak side. Gonna watch for that matchup against Talbot.
2nd and 6 Argos. Bishop with time, going deep, got a man open, but tipped away at the last second. Kyrie Zabert timing it perfectly.
Yeah, beautiful play by Kyrie Zabert. He knew that Michael Bishop's main guy is Arlen Bruce, as everyone does, and he goes over and tries to make the play on it, gets his hands on it before Arlen Bruce can touch it. But again, Arlen Bruce was open on this play. He has Kelly Malvo in a one-on-one position, and believe me, Toronto Argonauts are going to go back to that. If that ball was placed in the right spot, then that's a touchdown for the Toronto Argonauts.
An early test for Toronto place kicker Noel Prefontaine. He missed the big game in Regina, most of it with a concussion, and he wasn't sure how he was going to kick today. It is wide right. So the first test for Prefontaine is failed, and the best the Argos can do is a single point with a missed field goal.
Over 5 tons of towing capacity. 2,010 pounds of payload. In thinking ahead, we left nothing behind. More comfortable, more powerful, and more capable. The 2008 GMC Sierra. That's professional grade.
Ready for a real lunch? At Tim Hortons, our breads are baked fresh throughout the day, and quality ingredients go into everything we make, like our new cream of broccoli soup. Try it in a combo with a toasted ham and Swiss sandwich. Always fresh, always Tim Hortons.
Good oral health is part of your overall health. Philips Sonicare. Sonicare improves your oral health. Its patented sonic technology creates dynamic cleaning action, getting deep between the teeth and along the gum line for a healthier mouth, guaranteed. Sonicare, the sonic toothbrush used and recommended by more dental professionals worldwide. Philips Sonicare. Simplicity is brushing your teeth and taking care of your body.
Ready for a real lunch? At Tim Hortons, our breads are baked fresh throughout the day, and quality ingredients go into everything we make, like our new cream of broccoli soup. Try it in a combo with a toasted ham and Swiss sandwich. Always fresh, always Tim Hortons.
Still scoreless here in Toronto after that missed field goal by the Argos, Noel Prefontaine. And, a couple of things that Noel said yesterday about suffering a concussion in the team's last game. He said yesterday that he's about 80%. There's a couple of things which still cause him problems, light and noise. Certainly no shortage of noise here today. He said it causes him to lose his focus, which will obviously make his job tougher today.
1st and 10, Brenda, from the 35, and they give to Roberts, and Roberts tripped up by himself.
Yeah, Charles Roberts trying to make a move before he saw there was one-on-one situation, and just didn't get his feet up under him. But they're definitely going to have to use Charles Roberts throughout this game, and they know that. So they're going to try different ways to use him. They try to bunch set on that particular play. You'll see them when they spread the field out. They will get the ball to Charles Roberts today.
20 carries for Sir Charles last week against Montreal for 107 yards and 1 TD. Bombers go to the air, and it's dropped. R.J. Franklin had it for a brief second, but couldn't hang on.
Yeah, and that was Orlando Steinauer just making a good move to the ball. Toronto goes to the vaunted blitz. They bring everybody up to the line and just have all their defensive backs looking at the quarterback. Soon as he makes a move to throw that ball, the defensive backs run up to the ball, and Orlando Steinauer makes the play. That ball has to hit R.J. Franklin right in the chest for it to be successful.
Troy Westwood, second punt of this opening quarter. Again, not one of his better ones, but it goes out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, where Michael Bishop and company will take over 1st and 10. A 36-yard punt. I think they're looking more from Westwood in the punting department.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Ramada. You do your thing. Leave the rest to us.
Talking to Pinball Clemens yesterday, he said that his quarterback, Michael Bishop, tends to be very aggressive, very hyper early in the opening quarter. He thought maybe, just maybe, we might see Bishop carry the ball. Edwards gets the handoff, picks up a yard, maybe 2.
Yeah, and I always think that's a good move for a quarterback, especially when you have the nerves, when you have the jitters. I know myself, I always like to go take the ball downfield, get that first hit, and then get it out of you. So we see him hand the ball off to Edwards. They moved around the pocket on the first play. They're going to try a lot of different things. They want to make sure that Michael Bishop, their leader on that field, is calmed down and ready to go.
A 1-yard gain for Edwards. They spot the ball at the 39. 2nd and 9. Nobody on the left-hand side of the field. Everybody's split wide right. And Bishop going deep again. He's got a man open. And again, a key play. He was looking for Bruce. And again,
Kyrese Bear has the mandate. Find Arlen Bruce wherever he is. You've seen him already. Michael Bishop is trying to go to him early and often. But Kyrese Bear is right there again. This time, it would have taken even the most perfect play you can think of to get this ball in, because Kyrese Bear had great position on this play. It was like he was the defensive back on this play. But again, they know the halfbacks cannot stay with Arlen Bruce. Both halfbacks have already been beat by him. but Kyrie Hebert is there.
Hebert has brought his A game to the Eastern Final. Noel Prefontaine will get the punt away from just outside the 30. Again, not much better than Westwood's. So the Argos will go on defense.
Congratulations to John Caracasilis of Laval, Quebec, winner of the Making the Connection CFL Challenge. John worked with Ben Cahoon of the Alouettes to take steps towards improving his cardiovascular health. Thanks to all those who entered and voted online. John and a guest are headed to Toronto for the Grey Cup. Do what thousands of Canadians have already done and sign up for your own personalized action plan.
They've all taken control of their cholesterol. So should you.
John, the winner.
And Ben.
And me.
Coach's orders.
Welcome back to the Rogers Centre in Toronto, the Eastern Final. Argos leading by a score of 1-0. Kevin Glenn completes the pass to Derek Armstrong, and that's a combination that you pointed out earlier, Kahari, we can expect to see a lot of.
Yeah, some teams just play well versus certain other teams, and Derek Armstrong is one of those guys. They've played 3 games against Toronto Argonauts now. He's got over 100 yards in all 3 of them, and I think it's because he's a big physical receiver. He's able to catch the ball in traffic and then get upfield for positive yardage.
The Bombers' first down of the game. They spot the ball at the 49-yard line. Roberts. Give him an inch and he'll take a yard. This is Charles Roberts at his best. Down inside the 45-yard line.
And that is vintage Charles Roberts. This is what he does. All he needs is a little crease to be successful. As you see on this play, he's going to go on the right side here. He gets the crease. Just enough blocking that he needs. You cannot arm tackle this guy. He is that good. You see Winters try, you see Parker have to climb on, and you think for such a small guy that you can take him down, but his legs just keep moving.
A 17-yard pickup for Charles Roberts. 1st and 10 Bombers from the Argos 44. Glenn has time, swings it wide left, and he completes it and forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line, R.J. Franklin.
And this is exactly what the Blue Bombers were looking for. They want to keep the Toronto Argonauts defense off balance. We all know how good the Toronto Argonauts defense is, but if you can run the ball and if you can pass the ball successfully, that gets them off balance. Then they don't know where you want to go with the ball. And again, Kevin going back, making quick decisions. The one to Armstrong, now the one to Franklin. They're moving the ball successfully.
Rich Stubler, the defensive coordinator for the Argos, what a job he has done with this Argo defense. They're under pressure now following that 13-yard gain. Good little play action pass over the middle of Edwards, and they're down just outside the 10-yard line.
Fantastic throw by Kevin Glenn. Again, I love the fake. You saw Fletcher go right with Charles Roberts on that fake. Didn't give a look to Kevin Glenn. Here's Fletcher on this side. He goes into Charles Roberts. Leaves Kevin Glenn wide open to look over the field, throw it in traffic to Edwards, another 1st down. But this is where they have to be successful against the Toronto Argonauts. This is where the Toronto Argonauts defense usually shuts teams down.
And that's a 19-yard pickup. 1st and 10 Bombers from the Argo 12-yard line. Roberts. And Roberts picks up 3 or 4 going left side.
Yep, again, mixing it up. Charles Roberts going up the middle. You would think Charles is just an outside kind of back, but Charles Roberts makes it happen up the middle too. When he sees a hole, that's all he needs to see is a little hole. You see Matt Sheridan up front. Dominic Picard given the blocks that he needs. All he needs is a little seam. Picked up 5 yards.
2nd and 5, Winnipeg. From the Toronto 7. Kevin Glenn from the shotgun. Blitz is coming. Touchdown, Winnipeg! Milt Stegall on the deflection.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And Milt Stegall, the touchdown beagle, is in the right place at the right time on this play. Did you see the pressure from the outside? They're coming at Kevin Glenn. He knows he has to get rid of it. Kevin Ivan comes right up the middle, but Kevin Glenn gives Armstrong a chance. Armstrong, nice coverage. Toronto does everything right. Just Milt Stegall keeps his eyes open, comes up with the big play.
Stegall the opening pass in their win over Montreal last week in Winnipeg, and he does the same here in Toronto this afternoon. The convert from Troy Westwood is good, and the Bombers go in front of the Argos by a score of 7-1. We're early in the opening quarter.
Inspiration pulled from your life. With refined styling and overhead sky views, it lives up to some incredibly high standards. Yours. Welcome to Acadia, the crossover from GMC.
Yeah, I reserved Guitar Hero 3 online. I'm here to pick it up.
Great game.
I also reserved Guitar Hero 3 online.
Okay. There's only one Guitar Hero.
And you're looking at him.
Anything else?
Reserve the gifts you want online, like the 80-gig PlayStation 3 and 4-gig iPod Nano, and they're guaranteed to be here for pickup.
I've been a part of the Warrior Champ program because I was born with only one hand. They cover the expenses of my arms and all my different devices.
The services they provide, the financial help, the emotional help, the information. The War Amps has certainly eased the path quite a bit.
They made me confident in myself. You have to believe in yourself and you'll achieve your dreams.
The Bombers on top of the Argos by a count of 7-1 in the first quarter here in Toronto. Tuesday at 8, former Prime Minister Jean Chrétien teaches Rick a thing or two about reading a good book, while over at Little Mosque on the Prairie, paranoia runs rampant in Mercy Mercy. An all-new episode, a special day and time, Tuesday at 8:30 on CBC. The kickoff following the touchdown, first given up through the air by the Argos since October the 12th. Dorsey still on his feet. Good effort on the part of Dorsey. Battles his way up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and this is what you want to see on a touchdown play. You see a little extracurricular activity. We go back to the touchdown. You see Kevin Ivan getting through in the middle, but Kevin Glenn just moves a little bit to the right side and keeps his ground and throws a perfect strike on this play. You see Kevin Ivan get up the middle. Kevin stays in there. They got double outs on the outside. And Milt makes it happen.
Well, let's see if the Bombers defense can respond with a stand here against Michael Bishop and the Argos offense. 1st and 10 from the 30. Miles, and he goes Miles. Comes up just shy of the midfield stripe.
Fantastic read by Michael Bishop to start this game. One of the things I like about Michael Bishop, look at where he's looking. He's looking to the left, and then he turns to the right. This is one of the things that people talked about with Michael Bishop, is that he was always showing where he was going to throw the ball. But now he's used that to his advantage to fake defenses out. That's a very good start for Michael Bishop.
A 25-yard pickup for Miles. The Argos are 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. Bishop unloads again, complete to Talbot. And Talbot chased out of bounds at the Bombers' 49-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of Michael Bishop's favorite receivers. Talbot has been solid all year long. One of the things that Michael Bishop possesses is such a big arm that he can make this throw. Most quarterbacks won't even attempt the wide side out throw. When you see they have double outs on this side, but that ball gets to Talbot so quickly and effectively that it's like he's running it from the other side.
2nd and 4, Toronto from the 49. Edwards has a little bit of running room on the right side. He just might have that first down.
Yeah, it's going to be close. I think even if he doesn't have it, this is the part of the field where the Toronto Argonauts will go for it. But as you see, those big guys up front, as you have the pulling fullback on this play, and Robert Edwards, they want to use his big body in there, have that Edwards and Avery combination, get them the rushing yards that they need in the backfield.
First measurement of the football game. D coordinator for the Bombers, Greg Marshall, looking on. That's how close it was. The nose of the football doesn't get any closer.
Exactly. This is a game of inches. We say it all the time. Winnipeg knows that firsthand from their game last week against Montreal. Came down to 2 third and short plays, and they came out on top on those.
So the Argos keep the drive alive. Now 1st and 10, just shy of the Bombers' 45-yard line. Winnipeg up 7-1. Edwards again, crashing off left tackle, a couple of yards maybe.
And they know Edwards is fresh. He's been injured for a few weeks, so they haven't been using him. They want to get him involved early in this game. Again, the key to both of these teams, because their defenses are so solid, that they want to establish a double threat, both running the ball and passing the ball. If one of these defenses knows that all you're going to do is pass the ball, then that gives them the advantage.
Bombers going with the extra DB. Pinball was telling us yesterday we could see Edwards and Avery out of the backfield at some time today. I don't know where Bishop was going with that one. Talbot was well in front of that intended pass.
Yeah, it looked like Talbot was trying to throw a comeback route. He went and we call it a flying dive when the defensive back is so far off that you just kind of come off of the play and settle along the sidelines. Michael Bishop is looking at him all the way, so you know he wanted to throw the ball that way. But again, a little miscommunication on both sides. As you see, Michael talked to the quarterback coach, Bill Dietrich, trying to make sure Bishop and the whole offense are on the right page right now.
Noel Prefontaine in for the punt. Keith Stokes standing just outside his 5-yard line. A low spiral. He allows it to bounce, and it goes out of bounds inside the 4-yard line. That was misplayed in my mind on the part of Stokes. Should have scooped that up before it went out of bounds.
Oh yeah, but that was a nice punt right there. He knew that Stokes was on the left side of the ball, and he just puts it right where Stokes can't get to it quick enough. And again, Stokes probably was hoping that that ball went in the end zone, but this one he hoped wrong.
A 40-yard punt from Prefontaine, and the Bombers will be forced to start from their own 4-yard line. Kevin Glenn from the shotgun will take the snap in the end zone. Roberts. Adriano Belli there to stop Blink, as they call him. Comes up just shy of the 10-yard line.
I'm seeing something with the Winnipeg offensive line right now. They are getting a lot of push off of the ball. You see Koch and Matt Sheridan, Picard, they're all getting Adriano Belli out of the middle of the field, and that's the key. Adriano Belli has been so big with the running game with the Toronto Argonauts. If they can get him out of the middle and displace him, then they're going to have success running the ball.
2nd and 5, Winnipeg from their own 9. Glenn from the shotgun fires and completes to Stiegel, and Stiegel has the first down.
And that was a good wrap up by Kenny Wheaton, because it looked like Stiegel almost got loose, and we know what happens when Mill Stiegel gets loose in a little bit of space. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you have to be impressed right now. They are doing what they want to do against the toughest defense in the league. And you talked to them yesterday. They felt confident about this game. They felt like they moved the ball in the past. It was only a matter of time before they were able to convert some of these into touchdowns.
Toronto's defense has given up 400 yards in a game 3 times this season, twice against the Bombers. Roberts. And again, good second effort by Sir Charles. Iben there to pull him down.
And that's what you're going to see with the Toronto Argonauts right now, is their linebackers are going to have to play a bigger role in the run game. Kevin Iben this time stepped up into this play. He's up in the line as soon as they hand the ball off to him and touching Charles Roberts at the line of scrimmage. So now that opens the door to a little bit more play action. So getting belly out of there is going to cause the domino effect for Toronto.
From the 23, the Bombers are 2nd and 6. Glenn with time, it's tipped, but R.J. Franklin is there to pull it down, and he's just short of the first down.
Yep, now this is going to be interesting because they're winning the field position battle right now. They don't want to give up this kind of field position if they weren't to get a first down. But again, Kevin Glenn going back, just taking his steps, making a quick decision and getting the ball out quick. Looks like he did in the first 11 games.
And that's what he did so well in the first part of the regular season.
Yeah,
quick release.
You're exactly right, and that's Kevin Glenn's game. He knows what he's doing back there. He's been in this offense for a few years now. He's able to make those decisions. He knows what's going to happen before it happens on the field. And they have to keep using that, keep using the mind of Kevin Glenn to success.
Well, Doug Berry may have gone to school on Jim Pop and the Alouettes. They gambled on a short yardage situation and lost. So Troy Westwood is into the game. The Bombers aren't going to take any chances. They're going to punt it away.
Yeah, and I think it's a great call by Winnipeg. The defense is playing outstanding football now. The only reason that they had problems last game is because of field position. The 2 touchdowns that the Argos got were because of a short field. So they don't want to give the Argos anything more than they have to.
Argos are a man short. A good punt from Westwood, sending Dorsey way back. Pulls it in inside the 20-yard line. Dorsey going backwards, not forwards, and is brought down at about the 14-yard line. A 63-yard boomer from Troy Westwood, a -6 return from Dominic Dorsey.
He is continuing his most outstanding player ways for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, he came up big versus Montreal last week. Now he's coming up big again. That is such a big change of field position. When you can get a 63-yarder and come from out of your own end to deep in your opponent's end. So now they have over about 100 yards to get a touchdown. Great call by Berry to kick that ball off.
Westwood didn't know until a couple of days ago that he was going to be handling both chores in this final. Whether he was going to punt or not was open to question. Should be the final play of this opening quarter at Rogers Center in Toronto. Bishop from the shotgun. Bishop under pressure. Completes on Bruce. And Bruce is driven out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The gun goes. The first quarter is over. The Bombers lead the Argos 7-1.
In football, possession means everything. And now it's your turn to take possession of an incredible VIP Grey Cup experience at the Rogers Center in Toronto. 2 trips for 2 are up for grabs. Go to takepossession.ca or text the word TAKE to Scotia. Take possession now and get in the game today.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Byron Parker, Arlan Bruce, and teaming up with the Argos, Cody, a War Amps champ. Cody lost his leg in a lawnmower accident. Now he's a safety ambassador.
Whatever game you play,
Play safe. A message from the Argos, the CFL, and the War Amps.
This winter, get the gift you've been dreaming of during General Motors Wish and Win event. You could win up to $10,000 towards your purchase or lease, or even win a GM vehicle instantly. Plus, you get the best coverage in Canada. Everyone's a winner, so hurry in to your GM dealer or retailer today for the Wish and Win event.
Mic'd Up, brought to you by Rogers, Canada's most reliable wireless network.
I'm gonna bleed all over this kid. That's the first one. Probably about 20 all day, kid.
The kissing bandit, Adriano Belli, wearing the mic for us this afternoon. A very passionate, emotional football player. Rich Stubler said he only ever went after 2 free agents, Willie Pless and that man, Adriano Belli. What a difference he has made at nose tackle for the Argos. 1st and 10 for Michael Bishop and the offense from the 27. Bishop looking for Avery, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, Avery trying to get in there. Not successful on that first one. As we look at the first quarter stats, they both look a lot pretty equal, but the net yards, Winnipeg with that big drive culminating in a touchdown. That's the important thing. You usually can get yards against Toronto, but don't come up with the touchdowns. And the possession factor. They've been able to hold on to the ball and keep drives alive, especially the first one that ended in the touchdown.
2nd and 10 Toronto from the 27. Bishop out of the shotgun. Rolling to his right. Looking downfield. Oh, in and out of the arms of Tony Miles. That was catchable.
Oh, yeah. And he took something off of that, so you can't say it was the speed of it. Miles just has to come up with that ball. We knew that Toronto Argonauts were going to try to move the pocket a little bit more today because of Jerome Davis, but it's something that they're not all the way used to. They haven't been doing this most of the season. So when you don't do something and the quarterback's coming at you from a different angle, and the ball, but again, you can't use that as an excuse. Miles has to come up with that ball, and he just loses focus.
Bishop 4 for 9 in passing. Kevin Glenn on that last scoring drive for the Bombers was 4 for 4 passing. Prefontaine will get the punt away from his own 15. Good spiral. Stokes at the 35. He's got a wall. He's making use of it. He fumbles. Argos hat trick covered. Noel Prefontaine scoops it up.
Beijing 2008, the Olympic Games. Next summer on CBC, Canada's Olympic Network.
CBC.ca. Connect with up-to-the-minute news, sports, and entertainment. More content, more blogs, more video at CBC.ca.
Trainee guy, I'm out of burgers. Can you give me some more?
Yeah, sure.
Video, dear Ophelia.
I'm just looking for some burger patties.
Pray tell, trainee knaves. Burgers in the freezer.
Freezing burgers is just wrong. That's why at Wendy's, ours are made of fresh, never frozen beef.
That's right!
A low rate is only great if it's on a great vehicle. That's why there's a new deal from Honda. Right now at your Honda dealer, you can get incredible 0.9% purchase financing for up to 60 months on selected models of Element, Pilot, Ridgeline, and the 07 Odyssey. Plus, right now, we pay the applicable 1% GST. See your Honda dealer or Honda.ca for details and offers on other vehicles. It's the new deal from Honda.
Welcome back to the CFL on CBC. You're watching the Eastern Final from Toronto, where the Argos trail the Bombers 7-1. We're going to get a challenge from this play.
Yeah, and I think it's a good challenge. This is what the Bombers wanted to avoid. The turnover, it looks like he gets down. He has a knee down before the ball goes out. I think they're correct in challenging this play, and I would be surprised if it's not overturned. Again, as we look at it from another angle, he has his hand in there, but the ball is not gone. The knee is down, and then the ball pops out. So in my view, he is down. I think this is the best view. Stop it right there. I think the ball was still in there. But again, it is close.
Great hit.
It's a fantastic hit by Fletcher. And he goes in, he does what you're supposed to do. He wraps the guy up, not only wraps him up, but then goes for the ball in the process. As we see George Black and the crew looking at this play.
Pinball Clemens looking on, and we should point out that Bud Steen is under the hood right now, and he is getting help from George Black up top. And that didn't happen over the course of the regular season.
No, and I think it's a great move. I think whoever is down on the field is dealing with the emotions of the game, everything that's going on down there. He needs a calm hand upstairs to kind of talk it over, somebody who's been down in the trenches before. And for us, that person is George Black today.
And George was telling us before the game, the mistake that some of the officials make is to watch this in slow-mo.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, especially on the catch and no catch. But again, I think you have to look at these types of plays in slow motion. The ball might have been out of his now that I think about it, I think
Here it is in regular speed. You be the judge.
Oh, regular speed, it's out. But it has to be conclusive the other way, and they've already called it that it was a fumble, so they may keep it a fumble. I don't know what's going to happen.
Here's Budstein.
After the review, the Winnipeg player's knee touched the ground while he was in possession of the ball. As a result, it is first down, Winnipeg.
So a successful challenge for Doug Berry and the Bombers has taken the turnover away. So the Bombers go on offense.
Well, that's why they have the challenge in place for plays like this. Sometimes the human eye is just not fast enough to see those types of things, but you want to get the play right. And when you do slow that play down, you can see that his knee is down just before the ball comes out. It's milliseconds that the ball is out, but again, I think they got it right.
1st and 10 for Kevin Glenn and the Bombers offense from their own 48-yard line. They lead 7-1. 13:55 to play, second quarter here in the Eastern Final. Little play action. And going deep for Armstrong. Armstrong got a touch of it, but Wheaton had him well covered, kept him to the outside.
Yeah, and it looked like Kenny Wheaton got a hand on that ball just at the right time. Armstrong and Kenny Wheaton, again, they're going to go for that. Kevin Glenn had someone open short on this play, but he sees Armstrong one-on-one. He decides to go for it. Armstrong gets a little separation toward the end of that play, but Kenny Wheaton just enough to get his hands on the ball. Kenny Wheaton has played great this whole season. One of those guys that you don't think he's going to be there. You don't think he's going to be on the ball, but he's always making the play.
Glenn's first incomplete pass in 7 attempts. He puts it up, airs it out deep again, down through the middle. Flag on the fly.
Yeah, and that's pass interference on this play. Kevin Glenn this time buys time. He knows the blitz is coming. He knows Milsteagle is going deep up the middle of the field, but he buys time long enough to get that ball up to Milsteagle.
There's a man who really gets into the game.
Toronto, number 30. First down, Winnipeg.
Yeah, the Argos are arguing that this play wasn't catchable, but again, we look at Milsteagle. He gets up the field. He's one of the best in the league at this, and yeah, you have to call that play. Kenny Wheaton is all over him. I mean, either illegal contact, pass interference. There is a call on this play, and you don't know if Kenny Wheaton saved 7 points on this one.
It's a 26-yard pickup is what it is. 1st and 10 Winnipeg from the Argos 36. Glenn complete to Armstrong. Hit immediately and dropped at the 30 by Younger. We expected that matchup.
Oh, yeah, and Armstrong has been had the advantage versus Younger for most of these 3 games, and I think Younger has taken that to heart. He wants to make sure that Armstrong does not get the best of him in this game, and he comes downhill with a vengeance on this play. I mean, he has bad intentions all over that hit and dislodges Armstrong from the ball.
2nd and 10, again from the 36. Roberts has some room on the left side, still going. I think he's going to come up short of the yardage needed to move the sticks.
Fantastic play, though, by Winnipeg, changing the script. They did this once against Montreal on a 2nd and 8 and ended up getting a touchdown with Charles Roberts. This time they see the blitz. Toronto is thinking they're going to they're going to throw the ball, and they give the ball to Charles Roberts, who gets maybe 10 yards.
Well, we've already seen Roberts throw the ball. I thought maybe he was going to pitch it back to Kevin Glenn that time.
They're pulling out all the stops in this game. This is for the Grey Cup, and you can tell both teams know it.
This is a long yard. Now, this is going to raise an interesting point. Is Westwood going to try the field goal or the punt?
Yeah. It looks like he's coming out with the field goal tee. We talked to Coach Barry yesterday, and he said he wasn't feeling very good about anything over 40 yards. And if it was over 40 yards on a field goal, he might try the punt.
In answer to that question that I put to him, he just looked at me and said, well, what do you think?
Not a happy boy about the special team so far this year.
It's going to be a 34-yard field goal attempt from Troy Westwood. He's got the legs. It is good. Troy Westwood has given the Bombers a 10-1 lead with 12:15 to play in the second quarter here at Rogers Center.
Zippo Kingo Viagra. Viagra Spanglechef. Spanglechef. Dip Minty Viagra Nani Nani Whoop Whoop Flaps.
Monkey flaps, monk.
Nookie dip Viagra.
Knocker tut.
Viagra dingo monkey quank. Viagra mufti chuck wobble.
Oh, these are tough.
From decorating to renovating, come to the Benchmark Tool Sale at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Save 50% on a Benchmark magnetic I-beam ripping hammer. Save 50% on a heavy-duty Benchmark tape measure. Save on a DeWalt drill and driver kit, and more. Plus, earn bonus Aeroplan miles during the Benchmark Tool Sale. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center.
Help is close to home.
Argos linebacker Kevin Ivan on the bench, not known for his quotes most of the time, but Kahari this week, he was quoted big time.
Yeah, said they're not going to score over 10 points. Yeah, and talked a lot of stuff. And you talked to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to a man. They said, hey, he can say what he wants to. They're not worried about that. But when they get in the locker room and when they start talking amongst themselves, they want to prove him wrong. And so that's a tough thing to back up, especially against an offense like Winnipeg has.
Westwood with the kick, following the field goal. Over Bruce's head, and Bruce will have his work cut out to get out of there. Now he's going to take a knee. That might have been a mistake on the part of the Argos.
Oh, yeah,
not believing that Westwood could kick it that far.
I know. They keep kind of moving up on Westwood, and he keeps proving them wrong by putting it over their head. He's done it on a punt already. Now he does it on a kickoff. He is. I think it's a great ploy, not having him punt all year and then having him come out here and make a difference. So as you look at pinball and the coaches on the sideline trying to figure out what they can do against Troy Westwood right now, because he is really putting them in a hole of field position-wise.
This coming weekend, the Grey Cup is front and center on CBC Sports. We'll have more on that in just a few moments as Michael Bishop goes to work. 1st and 10, Toronto from the 35. Miles with a good grab, hangs on that time, has the first down for Toronto. Grey Cup, front and center on CBC Sports this weekend, the 10th annual Wallabies Warriors at 2:30 Eastern, and a Grey Cup preview highlights Saturday. While Grey Cup Sunday kicks off at 3:30 Eastern, followed by the pregame and the 95th Grey Cup all from the Rogers Center right here in Toronto. It's going to be a very entertaining week in the Big Smoke. Bishop from the shotgun, rolling right. Had a man open for a brief second, but unable to complete the toss.
And again, they're trying to roll out. They really want to be effective with the rollout, but Bishop isn't used to throwing it, rolling out. He sees Arlen Bruce open for a minute, but Kelly Malvo comes into the picture and makes a nice move on the ball.
Here's Brenda.
Well, Steve, Argos O-lineman Jerome Davis was in California on Sunday when he got the call to come to Toronto to replace the injured Mike Pearson. Now, Davis hasn't played since being cut by Hamilton more than a month ago. He said his fitness isn't his biggest concern. Learning the playbook was. He says it's been a scramble, but because he played here a couple of years ago, he knows a lot of the players, and they've helped him out.
Long pass from Bishop looking for Obed Satut. And Bean was over there covering, incomplete.
Oh, and he had Tony Miles wide open on the side with Satut. As he goes back, he's looking down, he sees Satut in his sights. But again, you see Miles over here, no one is on Miles. He has the whole side of the field to himself. Michael Bishop trying the deep ball, hasn't been successful so far. Robert Bean makes a play.
And I'm sure that Tony Miles will get into the ear of Michael Bishop as you see Damon Allen on the left of your screen engaged in conversation with Bishop. A wealth of playoff experience there in Damon Allen. Prefontaine with the punt. Stokes just outside his 20. No yards will be the flag on the play as Stokes is tripped up by Williams as he crosses the 30-yard line. It's a 40-yard punt and an 8-yard return by Keith Stokes. Winnipeg have the ball when we come back.
In a short period of time, the Lion Man has gone from king of the beasts to king of the road.
His socialization appears to center completely around the automobile.
Totally new to the Lion Man is 7-color ambient lighting.
The Lion Man is quite responsive to this feature.
The new redesigned 2008 Ford Focus is a real social life accelerator.
Time to get in and drive during Ford's year-end clearance. Come in now for the best prices of the season on most 07 and 08s. And now get 5% GST plus an extra $1,250 e-bonus simply by going to Ford.ca or your local Ford store today. Ford, get in and drive.
I think they're very efficient, right? Kevin Glenn does a good job of getting the ball into the hands of playmakers, whether that's handing off to Charles Roberts or throwing the ball to his 3,000-yard receivers. Obviously their strength would be Kevin Glenn then, I guess, right? The decision maker who pulls the triggers back there.
The Argos veteran Michael O'Shea talking about Kevin Glenn. 15 years in the league for O'Shea, 37 years of age as Glenn, the man he was talking about, completes that pass.
This is vintage Kevin Glenn. He's just going back there, making a decision, believing his eyes, trusting what he sees, and getting the ball off to his receivers. Again, same thing on this play. Just goes back. He has a quick hitter to his main guy, Milt Stiegel. Milt does a quick out for him, gets the ball right in his chest, so it gives Milt an opportunity to catch it in space and then make a move. This is the forte of these receivers, getting yards after the catch, and Kevin Glenn is the catalyst for that.
Stiegel, 3 catches for 27 yards. 10-yard pickup there, 1st and 10 from the 48. Glenn to Roberts, flag down on the play. Roberts got some running room on the right side. Roberts still on his feet. Finally dragged down just shy of the 40-yard line. That could come back with a hole.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to erase this big play.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Winnipeg, number 53. It's a 15-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
Doug Berry saying, "Who, us?"
And that's the center. Dominic Picard on this play as we watch Dominic right in the middle. Oh, he just throws a haymaker on Adriano Belli. I think he was a little tired of the Russian up there. And one of the things they try to do on the line, especially when you have a screen pass, is to push the player past you. And it looked like he was just trying to push Adriano Belli past him, and he hit him on the head with his arm.
And that wipes out a 21-yard gain. It's now 1st and 25 Bombers from their own 33. Glenn under pressure. He's sacked.
Real Johnson making his presence felt. Been injured throughout this year, but he looked healthy on this play. Making an outside to inside move. He comes in, beats Koch to the punch. Again, Koch is a new guy in there, taking over for Andrew Green. He wasn't used to the stunt that they used. And Real Johnson does the rest, gets to Kevin Glenn.
It is now 2nd and 33. A big hole. The Bombers from their own 25. Glenn dumps it over the middle, complete to Edwards, and Edwards knocked back at the 25-yard line by Brown.
Yeah, and I think that was a smart play by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You don't draw many 2nd and 33 plays. You don't want to compound the problems by throwing an interception on this play, and so he just throws a safe pattern to Edwards so they can punt the ball off and let their defense do what they've been doing so far in this game.
Well, if the Bombers ever needed a big punt from their kicker, Troy Westwood, this would be the time. The punt will come from the 15-yard line. Dorsey at his own 45. A low bouncer. Dorsey at his 40. Dorsey still on his feet. Good coverage by the Bombers, getting 5 or 6 players downfield to stop Dorsey on the return. A 44-yard punt, -3 on the return.
Yeah, you see these guys working hard. Adrian Baird is the first one down there. You wouldn't think a defensive end could knock a guy over, but he makes it happen.
Don't forget Warrior of the Game. Log on to cbcsports.ca in the second half to vote for the player who you think showed the heart and determination of a Warrior. We'll show you the winner in our post-game show. Warrior of the Game brought to you by the all-new 2007 GMC Sierra Professional Grade. 1st and 10, Toronto from the 39. They give to John Avery. His first touch of the ball as a running back, and we've got a fight. Something you don't see that often in football. Some will say, why do you need to fight? Why do you need to throw a punch?
Yeah, they get to hit every play, you know. You got Walls and Jeff Keeping over there looking like the national game of hockey, and the referees don't wait till a guy falls in this game, though. Stop it pretty quickly. You see Avery, they're trying to get the running game going, but Winnipeg is controlling the line of scrimmage, and you just see Keeping and Walls. Oh, look at that.
That's rock'em sock'em football. Rempel all the way across the midfield stripe. First down, Toronto.
Great moves by the big man. Big receiver in Rempel this time lines up as a tight end and just comes across on an under route. Michael Bishop just gives him a ball he can handle. And then Rempel does the rest. Nice moves. Makes a good move initially and then runs through the tackle of Jerron Bolden to pick up even more yards.
The unsung has stepped up. 15-yard gain, 1st and 10, Toronto. From the 54, double tight for the Argos. Little play action, buys some time. Bishop Floats it out. Satut is open. And almost picked off by the Bombers.
Robert Bean. These defensive backs for Winnipeg are playing the game of football. They keep attempting to go deep, thinking that something is going to happen. But Robert Bean, Kyrese Bear, they're all coming up with fantastic plays. And I think it's a good no call by the referees. Both players are looking up at the ball. Bean is just running through, trying to get to the ball. Satut doesn't put his hands up, and Robert Bean almost comes down with this ball. Again, there is some contact there, but both players are looking for the ball. Means both of them are acting as offensive players.
2nd and 10 Argos. Bishop from the shotgun. Had Satut open, couldn't hang on.
Yeah, and I don't know if Satut looks like his regular self. That was a tough play to make, but in the playoffs, you have to make those plays. Bishop put the ball outside where he felt like it had to be, away from the defender. Puts a little on it, but Satut felt like he only had time to get one hand up. I'd like to see both hands get up on that ball and him get ready to throw it. Bill Dietrich talking over to Bishop.
And again, Damon Allen there to support the starting quarterback. Remember last year the roles were reversed. It was Bishop who was backing up Damon Allen. Prefontaine with the punt. High. Stokes at the 15. Stokes dancing around, trying to generate some running room. And gets about 4 or 5 yards before Crawford bings him down. 11-1, favor the Bombers. 5:24.
LT and the boys are playing again tonight. There are no refs, just timekeepers. Introducing new Campbell's Chunky Barbecue flavored soups, like Chunky Southwestern Chicken, loaded with hearty vegetables, seasoned grilled chicken, and black beans. Chunky feeds an NFL-size hunger.
Hey, nice hit for a quarterback.
Campbell's Chunky, official soup sponsor of the NFL.
1st and 10, Winnipeg from the 20. Roberts spins off. One player still on his feet. Roberts at the 30 and gets up to about the 33-34 yard line, and that was all second effort from the one they call Blink.
Second effort, third effort, fourth effort. This guy is incredible. I mean, he makes things happen when there's nothing there. As you see, Charles Roberts just gets hit initially, gets off of it. Orlando Steinauer comes up, gets off of it. Winters comes up, pushes him off. The guy is incredible. He does it year after year, making things happen.
A 13-yard pickup for Roberts. 1st and 10 Bombers from the 34. A little premature action at the line. It looks like Johnson may have been drawn offside by that snap count from Kevin Glenn.
Yeah. Offside. Toronto 98, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Think he changed the count?
Oh yeah, he's changed the count. Winnipeg is doing all the right things right now. When you're in a hostile place, what you want to do is control the game, control the tempo of the game, and that's what you see Winnipeg doing on offense right now. They're mixing it up, they're holding on to the ball a long time, and when they have to punt, they're okay with it because they're getting the good field position and defense that they need.
Comparison between the two starting quarterbacks this afternoon, Glenn and Bishop. 1st and 5 Bombers. They give it to Roberts, and Roberts comes up shy of the first down.
But still, the line of Winnipeg is getting the push that they want. Charles Roberts isn't getting touched until he gets 2 or 3 yards down the field, and that's all you want from your running back. As you see, they get the initial push, but Toronto gets off of it on this one and gets the stop.
He had 20 touches of the ball last week against Montreal. A lot of those coming in the second half. They really established Roberts here in the first half against the Argos. 2nd and 2. Roberts again got the first down this time.
He got the first down. Kevin Ivan made him pay for it. But Charles Roberts is a tough guy, and He made him pay for it, but he made him pay for it 6-7 yards down the field. And Charles Roberts will take that at any point in time. Again, as you see Kevin Ivan right here, he spots him, he hits him right on the under the chin. A knockout blow for most people. Charles Roberts shakes it off, gets back in the huddle.
9 carries for 62 yards for Roberts so far in this game. 1st and 10, Winnipeg from their own 47. Glenn had time and a receiver open. Derek Armstrong down inside the 45.
Yeah, and I watched Derek Armstrong on that whole pattern.
The 2008 Sportage. Freedom starts at $21,695. Kia, the power to surprise.
Play Safeway $1 Million Touchdown to Win playoffs. Spend $35, swipe your Safeway Club card, and get in the game. Every ticket could be a winner. Scratch 3 footballs, reveal the word touchdown 3 times, and you've instantly won. Plus, enter the ballot draw for a chance at $100,000. Get a bonus game ticket when you buy any 3 participating products, including Classico Pasta Sauce. Get in the game. Shop and play at Safeway.
I would describe myself as a person who doesn't give up easily. When I was 7 years old, I lost my left arm in a grain auger accident. After my accident, I still wanted to be independent. The Warhams have done so much for me in emotional and also financial support for the arms and everything. There's always a way to do anything, and the Warhams, they'll help you along.
I've been playing 7 years now, and I've only been to 1 championship game, 1 Grey Cup. We lost, you know what I mean, and we haven't really gotten close since. So you got to take advantage of the opportunity.
Charles Roberts certainly making the most of his opportunities. It's his play and the play selection of Kevin Glenn that I think has made the big difference in this game so far.
Yeah,
the Bombers are 1st and 10 from the Argos' 44-yard line. Clock is running, under 2:30 to play. 2nd quarter. Roberts. And Roberts gets his head down at the 40-yard line.
And this is the effect that Charles Roberts has on a team. You see all the linebackers. Usually they're a little further back than this, but you have all 4 linebackers up on the line waiting to see Charles Roberts run the ball, and then they go back to a pass and leave the middle wide open for Derek Armstrong to catch the ball between the linebackers. So they're in a bind right now. They don't know whether to be up for the run or back for the pass.
2nd and 6, Winnipeg from the Toronto 40-yard line. Everything loaded to the left side, and Stiegel, I don't know where he was going. He was about 7 or 8 yards deep before the ball was even snapped.
Oh yeah, he was ready to go. I don't think he probably heard anything on this play.
Time count violation. Winnipeg number 5. The penalty makes the down. 3rd down. 3rd down, Winnipeg.
First mental error by Kevin Glenn.
Yeah, take that.
Loss of down.
Got to take that back on Mill Stiegel. He was looking at the clock. He's probably the only player on Winnipeg that saw that it was winding down.
Not a great time to come up with that penalty.
No.
Just under 2 minutes to play, 2nd quarter. And the Bombers are going to be forced to punt the ball.
And Barry is not happy about that one.
I said earlier how much he gets into the game. He's a very intense coach. He leaves nothing behind on the sidelines when the game is over.
We watch Kevin Glenn getting his guys together, making sure everybody is on the same page out there.
The punt from Troy Westwood will come from the 50-yard line. Dominic Dorsey standing just outside his own 5. And again, he has misjudged the booming punt from Troy Westwood. And Westwood can't believe perhaps he kicked it that far.
No,
he was trying to angle it, and it went through the end zone.
Trying to get it out of bounds and didn't get the spot he wanted. Did add another point on the board.
Wednesday at 8:30, Mark Critch goes to Russia and claims Red Square for Canada on an all-new episode of This Hour's 22 Minutes. Catch it on a special day, Wednesday at 8:30 on CBC. There will be some splaining to do at halftime from Pinball Clemens, I'm sure, to both his offense and his defense.
Oh, yeah. You can't fault his defense too much. The offense really has to get it going. 1 point in the championship game in the first half is unacceptable.
Argos down by 11, 1st and 10 from their own 35. Little play action. Complete to Satut, and Satut goes down heavy just across the 40-yard line.
Jerome Bolden and Ike Charlton are making sure that people pay for it if they catch the ball out here today. These guys have come to play, and you see it every time they go out. You see Walls get in Bishop's face. He gets a nice one out to Satut. But Satut just doesn't have the fire that he's had in past games that I've seen. And that can happen sometimes when you're a young player out there in your first big stage.
Fall down, go bang. 2nd and 4 for the Argos. And the 41, Bishop had Arlan Bruce open, but just misfired.
Yeah, Michael Bishop is, he's going to have to settle down a little bit. He's been off on a few of his passes today, and they have been costly because you need to keep the ball moving, especially when Winnipeg is playing like it is on offense and holding on to the ball. You have to value every situation, every time you get the ball on offense. And Toronto is not making the most of their opportunities.
Bishop has only completed 3 of his last 10 passes. Not good stats from Bishop, who was brilliant in the final game of the year, the regular season for the Argos, against the Rough Riders. Prefontaine with a good spiral punt. Stokes at his own 15. He's got room. Stokes still on his feet. Stokes tripped up at the 40-yard line by Carter. Stokes needed one more man perhaps to get by, and he had a lot of real estate in front of him.
Stokes is a dangerous returner. I mean, the last time Toronto had a return against them, it was Stokes a few years ago.
At the half, just over a minute away, Elliott and the panel will analyze this game, talk about the Western final between the Riders and the Lions, and we'll have back in the day, we revisit a famous Grey Cup game, the Mud Bowl. R.J. Franklin should have the first down for the Bombers.
Yeah, and the Bombers are, they're going to make Toronto change what they are doing on defense, and that is not common. A lot of times you see Toronto dictating to offenses what they do. But here it is. Toronto is trying to run that match coverage. But Kevin Glenn is so quick with the ball out of his hands, he is beating it before they can even get into the coverage.
An 11-yard pickup, 1st and 10 Bombers from the 53. Again, Glenn with the quick pass, that time in and out of the arms of Charles Roberts.
Yeah, they basically run the same play against the same type of coverage. But Charles Roberts this time, not one of the regular receivers out there, not used to that ball getting on him as quickly as it did, and he drops this one.
This slow start on the part of the Argos, not unusual this season. They have stumbled on a number of occasions in the opening half.
No, and that's one of the positives about Toronto. They know how to fight through this type of start by the offense, by the defense, and come through games. They haven't won all of them pretty, but they've won a lot of games.
2nd and 10 Bombers. Glenn under pressure, brought down. Kevin Iben. He talked the talk. He's walking the walk.
You definitely can't say Kevin Iben isn't doing his part out there. He's making the big hits. He's meeting Charles Roberts in the hole. This time he comes on the edge on this play. You see him come on the right edge. The tackle. This time for Winnipeg. And Gauthier just comes inside thinking that there's going to be a blitz, and he leaves Ivan all to Kevin Glenn.
So it is now 3rd and 20 for the Bombers, thanks to that man, Kevin Ivan.
I'm surprised the Argos didn't call a timeout with the clock moving.
Timeout.
There's the timeout. Thank you, Mr. Kreskin.
Yes.
Reading minds.
No, that's Mr. Crefo.
The great Crefo.
Yeah, they're going to have to make something happen before this half is over. They'd love to get some points.
Don't forget, Scotiabank hockey tonight goes at 6:30 Saturday, followed by Toronto at Phoenix. For the Ottawa region, Philadelphia Flyers take on the Senators. Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Chicago Blackhawks in Edmonton against the Oilers. Westwood will punt from his own 35. Dorsey standing just inside his own 20. Under a minute to play. Second quarter, another good spiral punt from Westwood, driving Dorsey back inside his own 10. Make that Arland Bruce. Bruce at the 20. Bruce up across the 25-yard line, where Michael Bishop and the Argos offense may get one last chance to put some points on the board.
And you can tell the Argos were trying to make something happen on special teams on this play by going after this punt and almost get a rough in the kicker.
Don't forget those Grey Cup Classics running at midnight throughout the week, Monday to Friday during Grey Cup week. Some of the more memorable Grey Cup games ever played in different eras. We have an injured Bomber down on the field.
Yeah, we got Adrian Baird on this. As we look back on the kick, we see them come full-fledged. And I don't know how they didn't call this on Orlando Steinauer. He does contact the kicker on this play, but I guess they didn't feel like it was enough contact to call it.
So what do you do if you're Pinball Clemens in this situation? 33 seconds to play. You're down 12-1. The ball's at your own 25. Do you say to Bishop, air it out, take your chances, let's go for the home run?
You know what? 33 seconds is still a lot of time to go in a half with the clock stopping after every play. I would go for it at least on the first play, maybe the second play, and see if they get some positive yards. If they get positive yards on the first play, then you line them up and you just let them go with it. But if they don't, that's when you start running off the clock and you don't want any more damage done.
I would think the one thing that Michael Bishop needs right now is a shot of confidence.
He does, and he's been trying to do it with the deep ball, but he hasn't had any success with it. So when you keep trying and trying, the momentum goes away from you. He needs to get the momentum going with him.
Bishop. Complete to Arland Bruce. Bruce forced to go back and then gets up across the 30-yard line. Pickup will be 5 or 6 yards on the play.
Yeah, and you see Jerome Bolden again being a part of that. Now all Winnipeg wants to do is get into the locker room with the game looking like it is at 12-1. And they would be very satisfied with this in Toronto.
And here's a stat the Argo fans don't want to hear. The Bombers are 7-1 this season when they lead at the half. 2nd and 4 for the Argos. Bishop under pressure. Bishop gets the pass away, and it's complete.
That may have been what they needed, but unfortunately there's 6 seconds left. Ran off all the time.
An unlikely receiver way downfield in Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards is probably not used to being down that far, but he knows what to do with it. When the ball comes, he jumps up, gets his chest, makes himself big, comes down with a foot in bounds, makes a nice play.
6 seconds remaining to play until halftime. 1st and 10 Toronto from the 50. Again, Bishop under pressure. Fires over the middle, in and out of the hands of Edwards. And that should end the opening half of play in the Eastern Final here at Rogers Centre in Toronto, and it's the Bombers who go into the room up by 11. Let's go down to Brenda Irving, who's standing by with the Bombers head coach. Brenda?
Doug Barry was saying earlier this week that if his team wanted to win today, they had to take advantage of every opportunity given to them. What do you think of the job they did in that regard in the first half?
We put together a nice drive offensively. We've done a tremendous job defensively, and our special teams have been real good so far. So if we can continue this through the second half, I think we stand a good chance of proceeding on it next week.
Well, one of your players said that at the half of last week's game, you guaranteed the win. Now, what's your prediction, or what will the message be to the troops this time?
Just continue playing like we are.
Thanks for this. Let's go back upstairs to Steve.
Thanks, Brenda. Doug Barry told us his team would not be intimidated by the Argo defense. They certainly weren't. They lead 12-1 at the half.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Rogue. With intuitive all-wheel drive that reacts to the road almost instantly. And the best fuel economy in its class. Whatever the city throws your way, the all-new Rogue is game.
Make the change from change with the new Quick Pay Tim card from Tim Hortons. Convenient and reloadable, it's the easy way to pay. Ask your server to get started today.
In football, possession means everything. And now it's your turn to take possession of an incredible VIP Grey Cup experience at the Rogers Centre in Toronto. 2 trips for 2 are up for grabs. Go to takepossession.ca or text the word TAKE to Scotia. Take possession now and get in the game today.
You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
This V6 gives you great towing and hauling capabilities. Perfect. Why don't we climb in and I'll point a couple things out? All right.
You'll notice right away how roomy the interior is.
Yeah, very roomy.
There's also extra storage under the back seat.
Back there?
Yeah, back there.
The Toyota Tacoma. You're tougher the moment you climb in. When new wheels with Toyota's Call of the Tundra.
Are you ready? Vote for your 2007 CFL Warrior of the Year presented by G.